What? I am not going to bring you the head of Squirtle. He beat you fair and square. Let that go. Hi, welcome back once again. It is time for the golden age of DC Comics, 365 days, where I take this beloved hardcover coffee table book given to me about 2 decades ago by one of my best friends. This has been surfing my coffee table ever since and has been a constant source of comic book shop style conversations, the kind I wish to recreate here today with you. Thank you so very much. Speaking of coffee tables, I'm in dire need of a freshly brewed hot cup of coffee. Indeed. Come to the coffee table, pull up a chair, bring yourself, bring your body, bring your mind, your eyes and your lips and your head and your hands and your hearts. Come to the coffee table, share with us some comic book conversation. Oh, that's a darn good cup of coffee. I'm using this book for its intended purpose. It's a 365 days book. We're going to open up to today's date, which is December the 9th. We're going to look at some comic book art of an antediluvian age. We're going to read the blurb, and then we're going to talk about comic books. And we're going to talk about comic books, you guessed it, every day for the rest of the year. I just want to say, how do I point? Oh, there, yeah. Cecil represented. I love Cecil. You should love Cecil too. That cash grab. The golden age of DC Comics runs between 1938 and 1955. Yeah, get it together. I get it. You just give me a little zap, The Silver Age between 1956 and 1970. The Bronze Age, I'm a Bronze Age baby myself, runs between 1970 and 1985. And the Copper Age begins in 1985. I get these definitions and standards from the Overstreet Comic Book Price Guide. Valuable resource for any comic book fan. This in itself is a 2004 Abrams press publication, written and curated by Les Daniels, Chip Kidd, and Geoff Spear. It's well loved. You can see the tape. Got scotch tape in the corners. The spine's a little blown out. There's this. This happened before I received it. This was it snapped the cardboard on the. But yeah, but let's actually. Oh, we never look at this part of the book. This is the inside covers of wonderful, wonderful art here. I'm pretty sure that's this is a Bill Finger and this is a Dick Sprang. I'm not too sure. Maybe there's I'll read the book and maybe there's something about the interiors, like the inside here. And here's the inside front cover and first page. Isn't that great? Is it a Lois and Clark moment? Clark might be super smart and Kryptonian level genius, but sometimes when you're just dealing with Lois Lane, you just got to stay. It's hard to stay one step ahead of her, huh? But look at the expressions on their faces. Isn't that great? That's a motive. That's art. And boom, an onomatopoeia, a word that is spelled the way it sounds. Love. And that's definitely a comic book happenstance. Let's get on with it. Let's open up to today's date. I hope you're doing awesome. And I hope you are clobbering your problems. Whoa! And not being clobbered by them. Over and out. This is story by Jack Schiff. Pencils by Bob Kane. Inks by Jerry Robinson and George Russos. This is from Batman number 10. April-May of 1942. It's Catwoman and her gang against the Batman. And there appears to be, Catwoman has a fuzzy cat-like mask on for the first and only time. But there are 3 opponents, 3 thugs, dressed up as Batman, attacking, you guessed it, the Batman. Mano y mano. A mano y mano. Mano, 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 y mano. Igato. Does that even make sense? I don't know. That was an oblique 1989 Jack Nicholson Joker reference from the Tim Burton movie. Indeed. So yeah, get up and fight. You're 4-1 against him. This'll finish you, Batman. So it'd be mono, Igato. Yes, I'm just counting. I never was that good at math. The Catwoman was a work in progress during the story. She started out as a thief who is a mistress of disguise, then graduated to wearing this furry mask, before finally adopting a more glamorous costume. In any guise, however, the attitude she expresses about Batman has remained remarkably consistent throughout the years. Quote, "How brave and strong he is. If only he would team up with me. Nobody would be able to stop us. Nobody." Yes. And that's young love between the adrenaline-fueled, the potential adrenaline and attention junkies, Selina Kyle and Bruce Wayne. I just said that? Yes, you did. Oh, really? Elaborate. Adrenaline junkies? Well, there must be. I remember the love scene between Night Owl 2 and Silk Spectre 2 and Watchmen. It was wonderful, and that was like a result of them like crime fighting once again, you know, beating up the gang and then being all worked up with adrenaline and just like feeling good that, you know, they banged. I remember the New 52 in 2011, 2012. Oh gosh, Judd Winnick, poor Judd Winnick had to write this issue. I think was it Batman or Tech? I'm not sure, but it was a love scene between Selina and Batman, but the end of it was like but the masks stay on. So it's like he's bare chested with a cowl on and postcodial with Selina Kyle. It was just yeah, the New 52 didn't stick. What is the New 52? The New 52 is a publishing initiative done by DC Comics in 2011. It took one of these. I mentioned the word crisis a lot with these DC Comics. These crises start because of the golden age of DC Comics. Because this ultimately has to be, all these stories written and printed between 1938 and 1955. All of those stories canonically have to take place on something called Earth 2, an Earth in the multiverse where Batman and Superman existed in the 1940s, and how to justify that against the marching of time with unaging archetypes and properties and the never-ending fight against good and evil. And, you know, Superman's always going to be about 30-something, a young 30-something, I believe, and Batman around the same age. So the New 52 rolled back the clock and made on purpose made all these heroes in their mid-20s. So kind of like this, like if before 2011 came, like, you know, we had culture before that too, and a lot of it had to do. I see a lot of the NBC sitcom from the 90s, Friends. I see that it's like the New 52 is like Friends in cosplay to an extent. Now they really tried to, you know, just keep on going with fantastic superhero stories with these familiar properties, and but they, you know, modernized the outfits for the New 52, and like they took away Superman's red trunks, and you wouldn't know how iconic that color combination is until you delete it, and then you see that something's not quite right. You know, Henry Cavill's Superman's great, but he needs red trunks, or as my friend Fatal J says, red drawers. Yes, Fatal J. Superman needs his red drawers. But a crisis. So, yeah, Earth 2, and so then there was Earth 1, and then they would have team-ups. Then there was Earth 3, where the mirror universe evil alternates lived. And then there was Earth S, where Shazam lived. And then there was this one and that one. And because you had all of these publications, and they had to take place either with the continuity of what was going on in the Bronze Age, or they had to be like in their own place, like Warlord. I never thought that Warlord was on Earth itself, like this Earth Prime, but it was like by the time Crisis on Infinite Earth comes around, it does get dovetailed in there somehow, and because it was just a property, you know, we had all of these magazines. We need to rope them in. We need to tie them together. We need but the new in hindsight, the new the new 52, I can take it or leave it. I usually leave it, but there was Greg Capullo's, Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo's Batman was hands down the shining star of that entire thing. There was I was tuned into Action Comics because Grant Morrison was writing that, so it was the new 52 Superman's origin story, and Superman has so many origin stories over the years, and they're all kind of wonderful, and they're all add to it, and they all keep to a basic recipe, and then Morrison tinkers with it to make this new 52 Superman pretty much its own iteration. Okay, I just want to see this real quick. Yeah, its own iteration, and no, I'm just looking at lack of red trunks. and speed lines and stuff, just like, yeah, it just everything got it stopped being so cartoony in the new 52. Also, Wonder Woman, Brian Azzarello and Cliff Chiang did a really under the radar year on that. That was pretty darn decent, and I didn't read it, but Animal Man and Swamp Thing, where people raved about those two as well. Like I'm an animal. I like Animal Man from the Vertigo days and Grant Morrison stuff. That was interesting, you know. But this animal, at least they retry to do Vertigo one last time, huh? Oh boy, comic books, huh? We've been talking about comic books. We love to. Let's look at the show notes. Pika, we use show notes. Pika makes show notes for us. And so what would Batman number 10? This is from April, May of 1942. Batman number 10. Here's our art again. And this is a 10-cent comic book. A 10-cent cover price in 1942. An iteration is a repetition of a process or utterance, a repetition of a mathematical or computational procedure applied to the result of a previous application, typically as a mean of obtaining successively closer approximations to the solution of a problem. What do you mean by iteration? Well, there was an original Superman, and the new 52 Superman was definitely a derivative new property in a way, yeah. And we're going to look at CP, so 1942. May. And thank you so much for tuning in. 10 cents. Yeah. Would be $1.83. All right, now let's look it up. We have the comic. We're going to be using this book more and more going forward in the show. I want to know things. I drink and I know things. I drink coffee and I know comic book things. I'm ripping off Game of Thrones, you know. Pika, you could look this up ahead of time and, you know, maybe put a bookmark where we need, you know. Hello. Okay. That was kind of easy to find because it was right at the beginning of Batman itself. Damn. Okay. Wow. Holy shit. Batman Catwoman story gets new costume. Okay. Okay. A 2.0 will cost you. That's out of 10. All right. There's a 10-point scale of how good condition. Yeah. So there's near mint is 9.2, and GD is probably goddamn. What are you sticking me with? That's a 2.0. Probably some kind of readable copy, you know. But Batman number 10, a readable copy at 2.0 would go for $541 today. 4.0 would go for $1,082, and a near mint will cost 10 grand. A Golden Age Batman number 10. It's gonna cost, if it was near mint, you know, what's the possibility of a near mint Golden Age book? I mean, these things are so flimsy. They're so, you know, here and there. Like I showed my ragtag copy of X-Men Judgment Day the other day, and these are just for the sake of, like, I mishandled this comic book and now it's ruined. This will never, you know what I mean? Look, it busted one of the staples. Probably rolling it up. Because I rolled up this comic book. Alright? This is what I used to do to comic books as a kid. I don't do this to all comic books, just some. And I put it in my back pocket. And that's how I would buy them off the spinner rack, alright? It's an old childhood habit. Picking your nose and biting your fingernails would be bad childhood habits too. And you gave those up, didn't you, Sully? What? You pick it, you flick it. Oh, hey, how do you make a Kleenex dance? You put a little boogie in it. This is fun. One thing I like about these publications are ads. And in new comic books, there are usually no real ads. So this was a $5.99 funny book, and there are no ads in the body of the story. So your available. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. Fucking A. Huh? Who cares anyway? Look at the cover. I mean, I don't want to get into that conversation. But there is room for 3 ads, basically. And let's look at them. Yeah, remember, this is it prints up like this, and then they fold it in the center. And so yeah, but here's that other ad. Okay, it's a Citizen watch. I mean, I'm just like, wow, I haven't seen an ad for, like, stuff. It's always like a house ad. It's always like, look, the inside cover. We'll have a movie ad for Thor: Love and Thunder coming out soon, you know. And the Disney Plus ad with the QR code. What is this, original soundtrack? Out now for Ms. Marvel, the TV show. I heard that was decent. People liked it, you know. Kids liked that. Teenage, like, high school misfit struggle, you know. Yeah, I heard it's not that bad. I mean, I don't watch D+ shows. It's not my thing. I don't want to give them the metrics. That's what matters most. It's not your subscription. It's the cui bono who profits. It's their metrics, the clicks, the attention, time spent watching these things. Yeah, and oh wow, time is getting away from us. We've been talking about comic books, haven't we? Thank you so much. Thank you so very much for tuning in today. We've been talking about comic books, and we're going to talk about comic books every day for the rest of the year. Thank you so much for tuning in. God bless. Namaste. Good luck. Please like and subscribe. I would love to earn your subscription. We make daily comic book content here. We talk about comic books every day. If you're a comic book fan, you found the right place to hang out for a couple of minutes a day. Take your mind off. This is about escapism. We need to be able to escape our problems for a couple of minutes in a day. Guess what? We've just done that. Thank you. I appreciate that, and I appreciate you and us and our conversation. Please keep those comments coming. I really get a big charge out of this. I hope you do as well. This is our show. All right, we'll see you tomorrow in those funny pages. Ciao. Bye-bye.